Hey everyone, it's Eric and I'm here with your new moon reading, and I'll be using my self-published deck Shadowlight Tarot. So I want to dive into this to see whatever messages come up for each of the 12 signs of the zodiac. Now we're going to take a look into the generalization of things, so depending on whether you have it as your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, Venus, or however you'd like to interpret it, depending on how astrologically inclined you may be, it is there to present the message. So for those who are generally looking for a reading, you may look for your sun sign to interpret what you're going through, what you're feeling. And then you can take that even further by watching your moon sign, in which case you'll have an understanding of yourself internally and what you're processing in terms of an emotional level. When you look at it for your rising example, that is pretty much how the world's coming through you or how others perceive you. Think of it, it's the cone in which you yourself, your light of your being of the sun, is expressed through. Now you can take this even further if you're interested in seeing a relationship aspect. Venus is usually associated with how we connect with others. That would be a good example to see what is going on in your relationship sector. But take it as you please, as each of the signs are only able to provide so much. So if you can take that and then compare it to see what you're going through, it may provide some insight for you on your journey. So take this for what it is. I'm here doing my thing, and I thank you for your appreciation, for your time to actually check this out. So let's begin with these readings. So Sagittarius. I have a Sagittarius Sun and Venus, so this should be eye-opening, if not for you, for me. So let's see, let's dive right into here. Let's give another extra shuffle or two because we want some clarity here. So what can you tell us messages that may arise in the synchronistic moment of this tarot reading to provide Sagittarians like myself and others who tune into this? The ability to give some insight, provide some knowledge, and maybe give us a little secondary perspective on things that we're going through. So cards, what you got for us today for the Sun, Moon, and Rising Sagittarius? We are starting off with slow and steady wins the race. You know you're on your way and you're going, so make sure that you keep going. Don't turn back. There's not a need. There are some times that it's a slow, steady pace, and sometimes there's snow, and you know, like when there's snow, you can't go as fast as you want to. It's like that. So allow yourself some time because you're coming out of this struggle. The fog's clearing because you know that you just went through it. It's a cycle of completion. This idea is that it's really going to take a second to process, but that chapter is closing. It takes a moment to turn the page, and then the book has to close, and then the chapter is complete. But there's a lot of things that we're kind of looking to see that, oh, there's this loss, there's this thing that's happening. Oh no, what is this happening in my life? And I want to say that Sagittarian nature, you've got to be at least open-minded to understand that there is always a blessing. There's an opportunity there because that optimistic nature is so Jupiterian that it's just something that rules the idea of Sagittarius. But we're really in this like heartache, heartbreak, pain, things coming to an ending, things aren't happy, things aren't working out kind of energy right now. Sorry, cards. Actually, I don't have to apologize to cards. I don't really have to apologize to anyone really, and you shouldn't either. So if you feel a certain way, don't bother. Don't worry about it. Sometimes you know yourself better than other people could. That's okay. So let's give another shuffle because we were going down the train of depression. Understanding whether it was actually depression or more towards the fact that you're going through a breakup or an ending or something that's kind of not the easiest thing to do. So cards, on another shuffle, what can you continue with this? We got the idea that this is going through something that you're going to be able to stand in your power, and you know that what you want in the reality is something that's tangible, and you got to reap on that harvest. So if there's a lot of things that you put a lot of energy and attention towards, you got to reflect on that. Is that a period because what you put in is equivalent to what you received out of it, or is that the fact that your harvest is just not that redeemable? But if you want to look at it in a deeper sense, take some time to take a look. This card's really about just kind of like getting a sense of the world and figuring things out, because when you figure things out, then you're going to get a little clearer on the situation to act in your best. Sometimes there's a form of partnership that it's something that when we come together, we do benefit one another, and then there's a lot of situations where we see this in one another just as well. So when you're guided to say that there's the sense of community, that we got to connect with other people, that might be challenged. That might be something that might not be so easy. So there's a decision there that you do have support if you want to lean towards the community. Now, if you go towards that in a romantic fashion, your passions are going to be supported to that, because when you actually care about what you're doing, then it shows that you actually got soul. Your heart's on the line because you're emotionally invested to make that the best it can be. And if you're romantic, regardless of whether it's an individual or what you pursue in the world, you're doing it in a way that is almost like a story being told. And if that's embraced, then that in a sense is just the idea that how we portray that romance, that connection in itself is the Venusian kind of idea in which we bond. So where we are strong in our power is the idea that when we have our foundations built and we are kind to honor what it is that is in that domain, then we're able to work with that a lot better. We got a completion card here of going into the Ten of Pentacles, in which we're seeing that things come whole, things come to a complete. There's a solidity taking place if it's not for the sake of the journey itself, but it's a manifestation. And you're going to be victorious because we're looking in a situation that is very much a goodwill situation. It's not just going to take you to say, hey, I'm going to get burned by this. This is more like this is actually in your good, highest of power. So let's see where it's taking you. Transition, definitely taking you away from where you just were. If it's not for the sake of you, it's for the sake of who you will be. That's something that's a little more long-term thinking, but you got to be open to it because that heart is on the line to be able to say, let's start this. Let's be able to consider what it is that's important to you. Where do you want to put your energy and where does that energy come from? This idea that we can help one another is just as important about those who are willing to help us. And we are victorious if we stay true to who we are because we're able to express that out into the world, and that truth, that nature, that honesty is not going to come from anywhere besides the authentic self to be that authenticness. So even if you're up against the odds and the placement is just not right for it, you got to understand your truth because there's things that take time and you're going to be able to go through it at your own pace because you are able to just walk out into the world and create whatever it is. There's a whole abundance out there, and just envisioning it is going to take you to where you need to go because you got that message and it's clear to you. Whatever it is that you're going through is going to bring out your highest of light, and that light is important because as you get through and past this full moon, you're going to understand that this full moon here is going to be a turning point. That your direction is going to understand that it's leading to transformation. There is a death. Things are going to be different on the other side of this moon, whether you want to see it yourself or not. But that's where the seed can be planted because it's when the tree itself falls can a seed be planted, and with that, the old tree in which was now dead is birthing new life into beginnings. And we cannot birth the new until we clear the old. You have a garden filled with dead things. You got to take those dead things out, and then you can have lush abundance as much as you want, but you have to care and tender to clear things. You can't have two things at once. And that anxiety, that idea that trying to have it all and maintain it, sometimes we got to make a choice because we can create whatever we want, and if we allow ourselves the potential, then at least you can create to that limitless potential. But to go within and go deep is something that you got to get clear with because there's a partnership, there's something of coming together of forces that are important, that things need to end, things need to just be completed. And just for the sake that it's gone on for so long that you don't want to carry these 10 wands anymore, these sticks, they hurt, there's pain. You've gone a long journey and it's time to rest and recoup. So you know who we are and you know who you are. So this truth is going to wrap up there because I can only do so many cards, and this was already an extended reading for out of all the signs I've done so far. So I hope that brings about clarity. And I guess I'll top it off with one more card. Why not? Because, you know, see what happens. Sit and meditate. So this meditation period, take a moment to figure this out during the moon because it seems like things are going to be changing. It's going to be going to a new direction, and it's not going to be something that you have full control over, but you got to honor yourself because the truth is there. If you're present with it and you are aware of it, you can't become unaware of it without escaping the things that is who you are as a person. So if there's something that you're going through, if there's something that is not the easiest, at least have some hope that things are changing for the better. And out of all the signs, I think Sagittarians will have the most optimistic outlook to live in their truth and move forward with that. So I hope my reading can give any insight and guidance towards whatever you're going through. I gave a little extra cardage because, you know, my Sagittarian nature was like, yeah, curiosity. So we are here and I thank you. So I hope you appreciate your reading, and if I do this again, we'll see you then. Otherwise, check out other stuff I create.